Hello everyone, I am Undead Horde here on YouTube and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be taking a look at a new account. If I could speak, that would be lovely. This is my free to play account. Okay? I had went back and forth about the idea of making a free to play account ever since I really started my channel. And with a lot of conversation with some people and some support through like YouTube posts and stuff like that, there is a really heavy push into saying yes to me making this account, and people would be interested in watching it alongside of my other challenge accounts. And so I decided that I was going to make a free-to-play account. I don't know how often I'm going to be posting about this account. If this video does well and people want to see more from it, then that'll change how often I post about it. And that's just across the board. If one account does really well and people ask to see more from that account, I'm going to be posting more from that account. But I do have to put some accounts a little bit more on the back burner, only think about them every once in a while, just because I don't want to overwhelm myself on how much content I'm being able to make and things like that. There needs to be a healthy balance, especially if I'm making Undead Horde a daily series. Then there needs to be some drawbacks somewhere. If I decided I could always change, I could make Undead Horde a non-daily series, and I could just do a rotation where like Mondays would be Undead Horde, Tuesdays would be free to play, Wednesdays would be Poison Man, Thursdays would be Void Vivian. Then I could do that, and then Friday, Saturday, Sundays could be other content, discussion videos, things like that. I mean, if that's more of a content schedule that people would be interested in seeing, so they can see a little bit of every single channel every single week, then that's something I could definitely discuss doing it. But there needs to be some type of play in my content, and as of right now, Undead Horde is a daily thing, and I'll do free to play as like a weekly, like a once a week or something like that, until things change otherwise. Something else that I want to put out there very early on is, and I don't want to sound rude when I say this, and I'm hoping that nobody takes it that way, but I do need to say this kind of firmly so people actually understand. I am in no way, shape, or form saying that I am good at this game. I am in no way, shape, or form saying I have a ton of knowledge on this game. I am not supposed to be used as a resource for people to grow and to learn more about this game. There are fantastic YouTubers out there who do a much, much better job than me, and always will do a much better job than me. My content is strictly based on me trying out a fun challenge to view the game in a different light that could be appealing to new people joining the game, where they might feel overwhelmed by how much is going on in the game. So I'm showing a challenge aspect in which people can then narrow in and maybe make the game seem a little less daunting. My free-to-play account, as much as this is a very normal thing that a lot of YouTubers do, is going to be a way in which I can better start to learn and understand the game by giving myself access to a few more champions, but in a much slower way than maybe what other people would do it. And we will discuss that a little bit later on, how I'm going to take an approach to this account. If people somehow pick up knowledge from what I'm doing, it's not intentional. They just were able to dissect my content and find something in it that was knowledgeable to them. And if that happens, then great. But this to me is just about the fun of playing the game and showing off the game in a couple of different aspect lights that may be more appealing to people than just playing the game straight up. With that being said, let's get into it. So, I used Cobb's link. I think I like him as a content creator. I'm sure they get some type of something for whoever uses their link. Like, there's got to be some type of like financial incentive or whatever. If X amount of people use their link, they get money for it or something like that. Like, there has to be. I guess it doesn't have to be, but like it feels like it would be something that runs in that direction. But either way, I use Cobb's link. I think it's a very good link. Champions like Venomage would be something extremely fun for me to play with, and I know other accounts have it too. It is the easiest one for me to go with. So as you can tell, I have the Tholen Foulbeard. I use Desert Queen, so we have Tuhanarak, Venomage, and then we went with Elhain as the starter, and obviously with the War Priest there. Why did I go with Elhain? Honestly, usually I would go with Kale. But we already have a phenomenal poisoner in Venomage that I feel like having Kale as the poisoner would just be a little bit redundant. And so I was okay with sticking with somebody like Elhain. She is classified the very start of the game when you pick your champion as being somebody who's good in spiders, and just having that type of like wave control. And I think something like that would be very useful, since I seem to struggle a lot with spider, and so being able to push through that maybe a little bit better early on than what I have been doing could be very useful. And so that's part of the reason why I picked Elhain. Plus, I never like Garrick, and I haven't used much of Aethel, but I'm pretty sure she's good. I'm like pretty sure she's actually one of the better options that you could pick for like later game, if I understand properly from what I've heard before. But I like Elhain. I think she's good for what I'm trying to achieve, kind of towards the earlier end of my account. So we're not very far. What we've been doing is really just paying attention to the Orbiter missions and getting through these the best that I can. As you can tell, this is where we're at right now. And I've also just been grinding up food champions. I think one of my biggest mistakes ever when it comes down to starting off a new account and playing this game is having a really, really big focus on just 3-starring normal campaign. I just run through with my champion and just 3-star everything solo. And like that's it. And I think that's, what I've come to realize very quickly while watching other people's content, stuff like that, is that that's not the best way to go about doing it. Because if the biggest thing that you want to do is get your first 6-star champion as soon as possible, really the only way to do that is to be grinding out food champions from the very, very beginning. Hence, what I'm doing now is slowly grinding out my food champions from the very beginning by slowly going through each campaign mission with them and trying to get as far in campaign as possible. I can easily go back through at any other point in time and 3-star it with no hassle. And so it definitely makes a lot more sense why people do it that way. And I was blinded very early on by stupidity, and that's my fault. So this is just the stage where this account is at. I'm not fully 100% sure where I'm going with this video series, like how much I want to show off, how much I don't want to do, and things like that. Like, I know getting early stages in, or like showing off reaching certain goals and stuff like that is good, and seeing slow account progression. I'm sure that's something that people would like to see, is account progression and how I'm doing things and how the account is progressing over X period of time. But I also need to keep up and having like this in my free time to use as well. This account, like I said, is going to be like kind of a nice sit down free to play account for me too. Something that I can just do when I'm kind of getting overwhelmed or something like that going on with my other account, and where I can just kind of sit and mess around with different champions and things like that, free of ease and whatever else. But I also still want to be able to show off enough of my progression and how people can do it as well. I would like to think, you know, going with my whole content discussion earlier, I would like to believe that my content should be accessible as a beginner-friendly content, where you're going to see somebody who's going to make mistakes, where I'm not going to play perfectly the entire time, that there's going to be errors, but as you watch my content and as you kind of grow alongside of me, you too can see where I'm getting better, that you can also get better. Like, there is the room for growth. I felt like when I got into this game and watching content creation, I'm just like, oh, I'm looking at all these people who are just good at the game, who understand everything. And in some regards, their videos that they create to help out smaller, newer players is good. There's a lot of good information, but there's a lot of it is in learning. It's in actually hands-on, sitting down, playing the game, and actually really experiencing things for yourself. You know, I understood the concept of grinding out food, but until I actually like genuinely sat down and tried to grind for food myself, I never really truly knew. What am I? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm doing the wrong thing. I need to be equipping gear. That Lord, my head is just, it's like to midnight that I'm doing this, by the way. I'm not in the best headspace to be doing all this, but I am. Anyways. So this is just, you know, this is the account. This is the very, like, this is day 2 of me working on this account. Seriously, this is day 2. There's nothing crazy going on. I'm not trying to hoodwink anyone and believing that it's like I've been working on this for a while. This is day 2. This is where the account is at. You can, if you can't tell, I mean, it's very early progression. We, you know, this is how we have the Tholen build. As we slowly get in more of these perception pieces, I'll probably bounce them around depending on what works best on this champion, and then I'll just shift around the lifesteal pieces to work with that. But I think right now having him lifesteal can be very good, as he's going to be my campaign farmer, and just being able to keep him alive early on is just better, until I can actually get gear where he can get enough health and defense and whatever else to stay alive without needing the lifesteal to do that. I don't think his stats are bad by any means for day 2. I think some of these pieces actually came pretty decent. Like, this two rolls and crit rate ain't bad. I wish this resistance wasn't to speed, but like, that's not the worst. This one could have been better. I wish this was in crit rate instead of crit damage. The shield, again, we got the crit rate. I actually like the additional crit rate there on the 12. That was nice. But I probably would have wished both of these were like in either HP or both in defense. Like, pick one or the other and not split it. This probably speed would have been better. But again, it's probably one of the situations which I would rather have 2 in one of them and not just split apart. Getting the defense gauntlets do suck though, but will be okay for a defense champion, or maybe even like to Hanorok at some point in time if I just needed to be like really, really bulky. We got the accuracy chest plate. I think this is just completely fine. I mean, we're at 99 accuracy with him, which is not terrible, especially this early on. There's nothing I'm going to be really facing I need to have that much accuracy currently, but that'll change very quickly. And again, the double crit rate is okay, or crit damage is okay. But getting the additional speed on the 12 upgrade was nice. And same thing here. Actually, this is one of the situations that I probably wish it was a double roll into crit damage. Just go all out on it. rather than getting into the defense. I guess it's not the worst on defense percentage boots to have flat rate defense. It just kind of helps scale it a little bit more. But again, I'd rather just see the roll in the crit damage. And that's like the biggest one that we have built right now. We're just completing missions on her stuff right now, but I will probably just keep her in this. These are not the worst that I've seen. And as long as they roll properly, I think I could make her a very healthy, survivable champion. And that would be like my biggest concern right now, is just being able to let her survive so she can perform her job. Obviously, speed will be important, and I hope that some things fall better for speed, but again, I can't stress too much about that when the account is this early. There's a lot more room for growth. The last thing I want to mention before I just end this video, I've talked about it before in my last daily quest video, day 23 or something like that, and I'll be mentioning it in like day 24 or day 25. I forget where I'm at. It'll be mentioned again in the newest video dropping alongside of this one. But I will be having a clan on this account in a little bit. Once that clan is made, it's going to be a completely private clan. You can only get in by invite. And to get in, you need to either be a part of the YouTube or the Discord server, preferably both. If you're a part of both, you're going to have a higher chance of getting in. And this is just a strictly free-to-play only clan. If you're going to join the clan, you have to be running a free-to-play account only. I don't care if it's free-to-play specialized. If you want to do a free-to-play poison only, I don't care. I guess that's up to you. But for me personally, you know, the biggest thing I'm just going to ask, and I guess I can't control anybody, but I would just hope that you would have enough respect for me and for the content that I'm doing, and having this be that you would respect my wishes, and that you would just strictly also keep it as a free-to-play account. And like I said, you know, I'm really going to be trusting the people coming in from Discord and stuff like that, who I know are going to be honest, who I know are caring about the content I've been making, and wouldn't want to go against that. But I think it'd be a lot better just to have a clan in which we can all support each other in a free-to-play sense. I'm going to take this clan more seriously than I am my other clan, just because there is a lot better opportunity for free-to-play accounts to do better in this game versus a very specialized account. And the free-to-play accounts are going to scale better. They just are. And if they're going to scale better, then you need to kind of adjust how you play the game or how you look at the game because of that. So, I digress. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And let me know down below what you think. If there's any comments, concerns, or anything like that. If anything I said rubbed anybody the wrong way, then I do apologize for that. And if it was really bad for some reason, then please let me know, and I can make a statement on that in a later video. There's been people who've already discussed wanting to be a part of the clan, which is really cool, and these are people I'm fully going to trust to be a part of the clan. And so I will probably get that set up by the next video, and I will let them know so everybody can join in and stuff like that. All right. Peace.